Look, I know this might come as a complete shock to most people watching this, but I feel I have to be completely honest with you. Craigslist sucks. Honestly, think about it. Just when you finally figure it all out and you have any significant amount of ads running, and you start generating dozens of leads, what does Craigslist do? They change absolutely everything and they pull the plug. Seriously, the recent history of changes and updates that Craigslist has gone through rival that of even Google, and that's saying a lot. But these constant changes have a significant impact on small business owners and online marketers like myself, who use Craigslist as their primary lead generation machine. Most people have completely given up on Craigslist as a viable traffic source and say that it's simply not worth the effort anymore. And I don't blame them. I would have too, but I didn't have a choice. The thing is that I was unemployed, dead broke, and past due on my rent. And Craigslist was literally the only way that I knew how to generate money. So you see, I had to find a way. I had to crack the Craigslist code. And after hundreds of dollars spent on course after course and hundreds of literal hours spent testing and tweaking and refining everything, I've not only cracked Craigslist, I've completely broken the system wide open. But before I go any further, I have to warn you right now, this video is not going to be up for long. I simply can't afford to have everyone and their mother using my system. This is to prevent potential saturation from occurring. So let me introduce myself. My name is Aaron Facciolini, and I began my journey into this whole world of internet marketing less than just 6 months ago, through none other than, yep, you guessed it, Craigslist. If you haven't already figured this out by now, Craigslist is a massive lead generation machine. Obviously, I'm living proof of that fact. You see, I recently relocated to Florida and I was in desperate need of a job. And like most desperate job seekers, I found myself on the pages of Craigslist one day. It was here that I got snagged by some slick Craigslist marketer who was advertising some work-from-home position. Something about posting ads online and making money. I bet that sounds familiar to some of you. Well, to my surprise, it was actually working, and I was making anywhere between $50 and $75 a day. And I didn't even have a clue to what I was doing. Look, I'm not going to go into all the details because I know your time is valuable, so long story short, something bad started to happen. My income virtually dropped to nothing overnight. And I couldn't figure it out since most of my ads were still appearing to go live. Nothing was wrong that I could see. My ads weren't flagged or deleted, so I didn't understand. So I did a quick search into the local listings just to check on my ad, and that's when I discovered my ad was not there. This was alarming to say the least, since this had become my only source of income, so I immediately jumped on Google and YouTube to begin searching for the answer. Turns out this was something known as ghosting, some sneaky trick Craigslist implemented if they felt you violated their terms of service. Don't worry if you don't know what ghosting is, because Craigslist doesn't even do this anymore. It just goes to show how often they change their system yet again. It was at this point that I began to realize that posting ads on Craigslist was nowhere near as easy as I thought. Don't get me wrong, posting a few ads here and there is fine, and in fact quite simple to do, but if you really want to tap into the power of Craigslist, then you're going to need volume. And I'm not talking about a few ads a day. I mean 20, 30, 40, or even more ads every day. This is where you begin to realize the real potential of Craigslist. Unfortunately, this is also where you begin to realize that Craigslist has built what seems to be an impenetrable fortress to make sure no one can do this. You see, Craigslist has been dealing with people trying to exploit their system for years now, and this has resulted in Craigslist implementing many advanced algorithms and updates to detect anybody from trying to game their system. And it shows up as early as you trying to post just more than 3 ads per day. And this is exactly what happened to me. Again, because Craigslist was my only source of income at the time, I had to figure out a way through all these barricades, and I had to do it fast. And this is where I had found something called Craigslist Traffic Bananas. This was the first advanced Craigslist training course I had come across on the internet. I have to admit, the sheer amount of hype that the product creator injected into his video and sales letter made me extremely hesitant to pick this up, especially at a $67 price point. But considering the fact that I had already spent dozens of hours on YouTube and Google with absolutely no luck, and my time was extremely limited because my rent was due in just a few short weeks, this product literally seemed like my only hope at the time. Besides, I knew that the one-time investment would actually be worth it if the product delivered on its promise. So of course I went ahead and grabbed it. While it was extremely hard to understand this training at first, mostly due to the narrator and the fact that the course wasn't really put together in any coherent manner, I have to admit that eventually once I deciphered the training, it made a tremendous impact on my Craigslist results. I had dozens of ads live, hundreds of leads per week, and my daily income was even greater than ever before. I was so excited that I even went ahead and grabbed the elite version of this course, which was sold at a whopping $277, which by the way was not worth it. So anyway, as I was saying, I was seeing fantastic results, but unfortunately this was short-lived. Craigslist eventually started to catch on to all the solutions that the training provided and started to update their system to combat these solutions one by one. The first trend that Craigslist caught on to was the solution presented for posting in non-local cities. The result was Craigslist blacklisted all the associated IPs, which meant any accounts associated to these IPs were banned, or all the ads associated to these accounts were flagged, including mine. And this was just the beginning. Soon Craigslist caught on to yet another trend produced by Craigslist Traffic Bananas, and that was clickable image ads. This was the ultimate solution for fooling the Craigslist spiders that search the ads for duplicate content, which is yet another algorithm that determines if your ad will go live or not. Needless to say, I desperately began searching the internet again, searching for any more advanced Craigslist training programs, and I literally bought every single one of them that I could find. The problem was, every single one of these trainings was already outdated and obsolete, but I was absolutely determined to not give up. I knew the answers were out there and I knew I would find them, I just had to find a way. So I eventually found my way into some advanced Craigslist training webinars. And while none of these webinars provided the whole picture, they did provide some of the missing puzzle pieces that I was looking for. So it was at this point that I was able to piece together working bits from all the different trainings I had now accumulated, which by the way had now amounted to over $500. So yet again, after dozens of hours of more trial and error, I started to form a posting style of my own that seemed to be working. So I refined my methods and scaled them up. I couldn't believe it, but what I was doing was actually working. Finally, a system that was working, and the best thing about it is it was my system. Finally, I was seeing consistent results with my Craigslist ads, and it seemed to be that Craigslist wasn't catching on to anything that I was doing. It wasn't long after this point that the very same leads I was bringing in from Craigslist actually started asking me if I offered training or how much my training cost. I have to admit, I was pretty blown away by this. Someone actually wanted me to teach them. At this point, I hadn't even considered the fact. So I thought it over to myself and said, sure, why not? So I got to work immediately. And this is where my first Craigslist training was born. It wasn't anything fancy, and it didn't even really have a name. I just called it 2014 Advanced Craigslist Training. So I zipped the files up, and I sent it out to a small part of my list. In fact, it was so small it was less than 200 subscribers. I didn't really think much of it, so I just let it go for $17. It wasn't long after this point that I started getting emails thanking me for the training. But still, I had absolutely no intentions of releasing this training to the public. But then something happened that really caught my attention. A brand new Craigslist training product had come out on the market, one which presented itself as a successor to Craigslist Traffic Bananas, filled with many bold claims on the sales page, and almost just as much hype as Craigslist Traffic Bananas had. So I have to admit, I was pretty interested. I'm always looking for new methods and strategies to enhance my own methods and make the most out of my Craigslist training. So of course I went ahead and grabbed this thing just to take a peek inside. Look, I'll spare you the details, and I'll sum it up the best that I can. I was very disappointed with this. I felt that anybody who was desperately trying to learn how to successfully post on Craigslist in 2014 would not find their answers in this training. Especially at a $65 price tag, I thought that people would feel like they were being taken advantage of. So this was the turning point for me. This is where I finally decided that I was going to release my training to the public. But again, there was just one thing. I didn't want everybody to have my training, so I limited it to just 100 copies. At this point, I was met with a few hurdles that I wasn't sure how I was going to overcome them. Because the product was so limited, I knew there wasn't going to be any kind of hype or product launch surrounding it, so I wasn't sure how I was going to get it in front of people. However, recently at the time, I had just spent a couple $100 on advanced YouTube training courses. I thought this was the opportune time to try out my new skill set. So once again, to conserve time, I'm going to skip most of the details and get right to the point. Basically, I created 2 different videos targeting 2 different audiences. I then used my brand new YouTube Voodoo and uploaded them to the internet. Once I did this, I was not prepared for what was about to happen next. My first sale came in within just 2 hours of the upload, and then another, and another, until it sold out in just a few short weeks. Soon my email inbox started filling up. My Facebook messages were exploding, and my YouTube inbox was on fire. I was getting messages literally every day. And here's the thing, almost all of these messages were messages thanking me for putting together such an amazing product. Messages that looked like this, and this, and this. And I really just want to take a moment here to dedicate a special frame to this amazing comment that was left on my Facebook wall. This comment literally left me speechless, and I still get chills every single time I read it. Now I'm going to leave the decision to you whether or not you would like to read this comment yourself by pausing the video right now. But if you don't want to, I completely understand. I know that it's a pretty lengthy comment. Just know that I didn't include this comment or any other comment in this video to brag or show off in any kind of way. I just wanted to demonstrate the kinds of comments I was receiving that inspired and motivated me to release this training to the public. I wish I could include all the amazing feedback that I was receiving in this video, but the video would literally just be way too long. I was blown away to say the least. I never thought I'd be getting so much awesome feedback on something that started out so small. So at this point I was pretty content with what I had accomplished. Again, this course was never supposed to be released publicly, so I was just going to begin working on new projects. Until Craigslist did one final thing. They released yet another update. And this time, the impact was far more substantial than ever before. You see, they completely removed all clickable text links from the free sections. This completely devastated Craigslist marketers, because all previous trainings relied heavily on some form of clickable links, whether it was image ads or text links. Even my training relied heavily on the clickable text links, so I knew I had to do something fast. I didn't want my customers to feel like my training fell into the same category as all the other trainings out there. I didn't want them to feel like it was obsolete and outdated. So I stayed up for over 24 hours and I released a brand new update to my training and released a brand new YouTube video. I wanted to show that the recent update had not impacted my results whatsoever. Once again, the amount of gratitude flooding my inboxes was overwhelming. It was through reading these comments that I realized that people really did need my Craigslist training. And this is how the Craigslist Master Blueprint was born. I finally decided to release my Craigslist training to the public. The Craigslist Master Blueprint is literally all the accumulated knowledge of every Craigslist training course that I've ever purchased. But it's far more than that, because as I already told you, all the previous Craigslist trainings available no longer work. So I've had to salvage bits and pieces from all the former trainings and piece them all together to form a system that does. This system has taken me months to build. Literally hundreds of hours have been poured into building this system. I've constantly torn it down and rebuilt it to make it better each and every time. And anybody who's purchased the first version of this course can tell you that. So what is this system? Well, I've called it the Craigslist Master Blueprint for a reason, because it's literally a blueprint teaching you step by step everything you need to do. It teaches you how to bypass all the different algorithms and make sure your ads go live. How to post in any city using a premium or free solution. How to post literally hundreds of ads per week, and I even show you how to get up to over 100 ads per day using a special system that I've developed. And of course, I teach you how to avoid flagging. Now, I have to be honest, there's no 100% guarantee that you won't be flagged. That's just impossible, and anybody that says otherwise is just completely lying to you. But the truth is, in recent months, including March and April, I've been getting a 90% stick rate, meaning that more than 90% of my ads go unflagged. Now, I'm sure those were some of the things that you probably expected to hear me say, but here are a few that you probably didn't. I teach you how to build a list with Craigslist and how to leverage that list. I talk about the different categories on Craigslist and which ones work best for what offers. I've even included a special module called the Anatomy of a Successful Post, which describes in detail how to construct an ad from scratch that will effectively work on Craigslist. And if that wasn't enough, guess what? I've included many premium bonuses. In fact, the total value of all the bonuses I've included are estimated at $126, and that's being modest. The first premium bonus is the highly guarded best kept secret, how to create unlimited PVAs yourself. This is the exact training that's been sold for $200 or more commonly stably sold at $99. The second bonus I've included was initially intended to be part of my secret unannounced training, which will be sold for over $200. I call it the premium posting process. The reason this was intended to be a part of that training was simply because the value of it is tremendous, and including it into this already extraordinary package just seemed to be selling myself short. However, it goes too perfectly with Module 8, which teaches you how to build your very own Craigslist posting system, so I just had to include it. I've also included an awesome bonus trick which teaches you how to change your home IP address for free. And finally, a recent addition to this package has been a complete mind map. I've included both the video and the downloadable image for you. This mind map details every single day and every single step of the way that you have to do each day to get your posts running and how to leverage my system to get in over 100 ads per day. Okay, so you might still be asking yourself, what does this all mean for me? What is this going to do for me, right? Well, let's just get one thing out of the way. If you don't already know this, Craigslist gets over 50 million unique visitors every single day. Now, if you were able to siphon off just a small fraction of this number, what would that do for you? Okay, it would make a substantial difference to any business. Okay, my system effectively shows you how to pull in hundreds of leads every single day within less than 15 minutes of work. Okay, now one thing I want to say here is that the 15 minutes of work takes a little time to build up to, at least a week using my system, because it's going to take a little bit to get the system set up on day 1, 2, and 3, which I demonstrate for you in the blueprint exactly what you need to do on days 1, 2, and 3 to get the system set up as fast as possible for you. But within a week, at least less than 2 weeks, you'll be able to see results coming in within less than 15 minutes of work every single day. And I mean hundreds of leads per day. I have another video that demonstrates exactly how I'm able to pull in over 100 leads on a single day without even posting an ad on Craigslist. So what would all this be worth to you? Well, let's just take one example. Now, I'm from the internet marketing arena, so this is the only arena that I know the numbers well, okay? And in the internet marketing arena, each subscriber should be worth at least $1 per month to you on your list, okay? Now, taking that statistic, if you were able to bring in 50 leads per day, which by the way is very, very low using my system, take that by 5 days per week. Now I market 7 days per week, but maybe you only do it for 5, okay? And then there's 4 weeks in a month. Taking those numbers, that's 1,000 free leads per month for your business. What would that be worth to you? Again, using the internet marketing example, this would be an extra $1,000 per month if these 1,000 free leads were added to your list, okay? Now that's just one example, okay? And these are very, very low estimates, as I was saying, because I'm able to generate over 100 leads per day without even posting ads every day. Now, I have to throw a disclaimer out here. I do not guarantee these results whatsoever. I don't know what kind of action you're going to take using my system. I don't know what kind of offers you promote or what your business is on Craigslist, okay? I do not teach monetization practices within this product, meaning I don't actually teach you what I use personally to make money on Craigslist. What I do teach is how to pull in hundreds of leads per day and get dozens and dozens of ads per day to increase your amount of volume on Craigslist, your amount of exposure, to be able to siphon in that traffic from Craigslist, okay? So you can easily see the combined total value of everything that I've just told you is absolutely tremendous. I've already told you that I've spent over $500 myself on Craigslist training to date. Not only that, I've also told you that none of those trainings work anymore. To make matters worse, I've had to spend hours and months testing and tweaking and building my own system to finally make something that does work. So all that being said, you can see that the combined total value of this package is far above $500. But here's the thing, I didn't want to release this course for that price. The reason being is that I understand that most people using Craigslist are in a financial crunch, just like I was. So I wasn't sure how or at what price I was going to let this course go to the public for. And then I thought, why not just ask my customers? So that's exactly what I did. I handpicked a few select customers who continuously expressed gratitude towards my training and always thanked me for every update that I've put out and all the effort that I've put into my training. I have to say I was pretty shocked with some of these numbers that they were coming back to me with. Again, these numbers were just a little too high for my taste. So I finally come up with a pricing structure that I think is going to work for everybody. So instead of letting this product go for $500 or even $250, I'm not even going to sell it for $100. Not yet, at least. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start the price at $67, priced right around typical Craigslist training products. And what's going to happen is every single sale that comes through is going to drive the price up until it reaches $97, where I've put the price cap, at which point the product will be taken off the market. So you see, you have an incredibly unique opportunity presented in front of you. You have a chance to grab my course for a limited time and cheaper than anybody else after you. So here's the thing, if you're still sitting here watching this video, I have to strongly urge that you go down and click the buy now button immediately. If you made it this far into the video, that shows me that you're extremely interested in what I have to offer you, and I promise you that it will be worth your while. And if that's not enough reassurance, I'm offering the first time ever a 30-day money-back guarantee on a Craigslist training product. That's right, nobody in the history of releasing any type of Craigslist course has offered a money-back guarantee. The reason I'm doing this is because I am so confident in this product. I'm absolutely sure that anybody that goes ahead and purchases this is absolutely going to be overwhelmed with the amount of value and training that I provide. I've absolutely received 0 requests for any type of refund with this product. I've had 0 complaints. So by now there should be absolutely no doubt in your mind about grabbing this product right this second. But just in case you are, I've included more customer feedback and testimonials on this page below this video. So if you're still here watching, what are you waiting for? Time is running out. Like I said, every sale is driving the price up, and once it reaches $97, it's gone. Do not sit this one out. Click the button below, and I'll see you on the inside.